A.C.E.S Junkyard Podcast, repairing, refitting, and salvaging mechs since 3015.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Armored Combat Escalation Service Podcast, your number one voted MechWarrior Battletech podcast, broadcasting live out of Loki Patira. With me tonight, I have Tierkron. How's it going, Tierkron?
Pretty good.
And I also have Blake. How's it going, Blake?
Hey man, what's up?
Not a whole lot. It's kind of a slow news week. I mean, I guess the biggest release would be the two new mechs for the clans and EU servers. But other than that, I don't think there's been a whole lot to really talk about, or at least as of yet. Probably in about an hour or something we'll get a release, because that seems to be the common theme with our podcast.
Well, it's funny that you talk about our podcast, and really we're one of the few podcasts still going right now for MWO. I mean, NGNG has not released a new podcast episode in months now. War Room hasn't done one in a long while. There's very few people still making podcasts. Some streamers still going, and they're doing more streams in lieu of podcasting, but really and truthfully, we're the only ones that seem to have any consistency anymore.
That's not maybe a good thing. I don't know.
No, that's not a good thing. I don't know why though. I mean, is it because those people are too busy? Are they burned out? What's going on?
I have no idea.
Is it because
I'm kept in the dark as
NGNG
well,
has
so.
become a bunch of shills for PGI?
Yeah, I know, right? Fuck those guys.
We're not going to speculate on that. We're not going to be like that. No, we're going to be happy little mech warriors.
All right, so we might as well just get through this desert of a news week. Shadowcat and Cheetah, of course, both those came out. That'll be our first topic for the day, since that's probably going to be the biggest thing. Let's see here. Shadowcat, probably my favorite out of the two that came out. It's just a really fun mech to play in. There's not a lot of hard points and that sort of stuff, but there is. I think a lot of people are struggling to find a decent build with the Shadowcat. There's a lot of speculation. Like, I've seen a lot of like one large pulse laser or one PPC and two medium lasers, or a Gauss rifle, two medium lasers, or personally I found two large pulse lasers or two PPCs, though doable, runs really, really hot. Because one of the things I found with Shadowcat is that once it starts heating up, it's really hard to cool down.
Yeah. The couple that I found that are actually interesting builds, 3 ER large lasers and just hitting from range like the used to do with the Cicada. The other one is a somewhat faster brawl, which is 3 SRM6 with 2 medium lasers. Unfortunately, to do that, you have to cut out some of your ammo, so you don't have as many reloads, but it will pack a punch. So if you're looking to get in, up close and personal with someone, the biggest thing is remembering to switch out that one left side torso for the ECM side torso. A lot of people are forgetting to do that, and really, if you've got a variant that can run ECM, you should be running ECM on all of your variants. You shouldn't be leaving it off. It costs a ton, but
No,
it's a
not
ton
even that.
well spent.
What about my machine guns? You're not thinking about the number of machine guns.
Yeah, I saw your video there of 7 machine guns, 1 ER PPC.
Yeah, best mech of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
Telling you, man. Machine guns are OP.
I've actually seen a variant of that. It's 2 large pulse lasers and just 3 machine guns with the ECM, and that actually was doing very well. The guy called it the clan version of the Arrow.
I don't know, I've seen a couple builds that utilize machine guns as well, but I mean, the way I see it, I mean, you might as well put them all in there. There's no reason not to run 7. I'm just saying. Actually, I believe there's a way to run 4 of them, and then you use the ECM from the B left torso, and then use the right torso from the prime to get that energy slot in there. I think I've seen a couple builds that do it that way, but I'd rather just, because I mean, as much as I like the ECM, the changes to it, the reduction of the distance, until, because I mean, it doesn't take, like, I'm not saying for sure because I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure with this new battle value and requirkening type thing that they're putting in to check internal shit, it's pretty easy, and especially when I think Paul said recently that there's going to be a focus, or it might have been Russ, said there was going to be a focus on role warfare more than anything else with this new quirk system. It's going to be pretty obvious. If you haven't picked up on it yet, it's pretty obvious. Let me keep rephrasing here until I get it right. That there's probably going to be quirks to extend range on ECM, probably for light mechs or mediums, for those that can get it. Probably the assaults and heavies that can use ECM. Actually, I don't think there's any assaults with ECM yet.
The DDC, that's it.
Oh yeah, there is the DDC. I keep forgetting that mech has ECM.
The heavies that have it are the Hellbringer and the Cataphragm OXP, or 0XP, ZXP, depending on where you are.
But yeah, they'll probably still stay at the 90 range, and then it could probably be pretty obvious that maybe there's a quirk that doubles the range for mediums and maybe triples for lights. I don't know. But I think it's pretty obvious that ECM is one of the things that's going to get quirks depending on the chassis it's equipped to. Probably more so for Intersphere than clans, because the clans are able to move it around so much that pretty much anything can have it.
Well, that and mentality for the clans is not to rely on things like ECM. There's a reason why you only see a small handful of their Omni-Mechs actually able to mount ECM, and it's because for the majority of clans, running electronic countermeasures is considered a dishonorable tactic. It's not something that is supposed to be done. Really, truthfully, for their mentality, they would prefer, they prefer straight up fights, where there's no really, there's, people basically lining up similar to like the Napoleonic era and just running right at one another and getting into a fight. That sense, in terms of gameplay, yeah, it makes sense why people want ECM left, right, and center on every single mech that they can. But if you are seeing any of the players that play that are at all, trying to role play, trying to, stay true to the lore, you notice that they don't bring ECM as much as they should, in many situations. We've seen that especially with some of the clan loyalist groups, that they don't run ECM on every variant of the Hellbringer that they have. They'll only have it on the Prime, and if you see them with, say, the B or the C variant instead, they won't have switched out that side torso in order to have the ECM, or if they did switch out that side torso in order to have the laser hardpoints, that's the only reason they did it. They won't throw the ECM in there. So it's, it depends on your particular play style. If you're in there to win and to do what you have to do for the game, then yeah, you're going to take every advantage that you can get. If you're more of a purist and a lore-based player, then you try to stay close to those roots. So it is what it is. I'm definitely eager to see what the battle value system that we've heard, little tidbits here and there about, will do to change things up. I like the idea of basically using it to do quirks that aren't necessarily for weaponry, sensor quirks, jump jet quirks, speed, acceleration, things like that we've only just gotten a little bit of a taste of. with what the current system is. I think that will really help redefine mechs for this game, much of the way Quirks did the first time they came around. It revitalized the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt up to that point, people
Was
played
pretty
it,
much
and
non-existent.
yeah, there was no reason to play it beyond that unless you were just playing it for fun. Quirks came out, and suddenly Thunderbolt
People
is
weren't taking
go-to.
Thunderbolts even in comp. They were switching out for Cataphracts and like anything else really.
So, with the revamping of the system, going to this battle value system, we could, potentially see a whole list of new mechs and new chassis, or old mechs and old chassis become, the new thing to have and the new thing to bring. It's one of the reasons why, I've had people ask me, is like, what mechs have the best quirks? It's like, yeah, these do, but you gotta be careful because the game is a dynamic game, and PGI is constantly making changes and has new plans in the works to be implemented. So what you choose now may not be what you want 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days from now. So it's it is a game currently that, as usual, has a high learning curve to it, and it has a definitely steep curve. If you want to stay on top of the game, you've got to be paying attention to what's going on. You can't just rely on secondhand information anymore. You've got to be paying attention to the Twitter posts from PGI and their membership. You've got to be watching the Instagram. You've got to be watching the main website, mwomercs.com. Got to be paying attention to those posts because something might slip through that is going to be a game changer. And if you're left in the dust, you're going to be struggling to get back up, out of it.
Also, I want to do a public service announcement. Battle value is not going to be used for matchmaker at all. Period. It's literally just for internal checking. It takes the way that they do it, I'm not entirely sure, but it's supposedly taken into effect hard points, location of weapon, that sort of stuff. Like how well a mech can tank, that sort of stuff, to apply a battle value number to it, and then they can rank it and assess and quirk it appropriately. I have no idea how it works. This is just what I've heard through both the grapevine and from Phil. So again, for those people that don't know, battle value is not for matchmaker. Okay, I got that out of my system because I keep seeing posts every fucking where about that.
Yeah, and part of that is because there's only been little bits of rumors and little bits of things here and there. That Russ mentioned it a few times in the one town hall, but never really went into the full details of it. Paul's mentioned it here and there on Twitter, I think, and hasn't said anything definitive about it. And when you get information like that, like any rumors, they end up getting blown out of proportion eventually, and people let their imaginations run wild, and suddenly someone says, "Oh, it's going to be this, and it's definitely going to do this and this and this," and suddenly everyone's latched onto that and making a mountain out of a molehill, but without
Rumor mill,
realizing,
man. Rumor mill.
That's the thing about imagination. It's worse than facts. A fact, like if you have a bad imagination, it could be it could just be a nightmare waiting to happen. But if you have a good imagination, same thing. Only difference is you'll be disappointed in the end.
Yeah. So, but back to the Shadowcat and Arctic Cheetah. The Shadowcat's definitely good. Arctic Cheetah, I've actually been a bit surprised with. It's proving itself to be a pretty scrappy little mecha.
It's an interesting mech. It's definitely the best out of the clan lights. It is by far the best out of the clan lights. That being said, I would still, and I played the Arctic Cheetah a little bit. I'm not a fan of it entirely. I mean, it plays pretty much just like the Firestarter, but maybe it's just because of everyone running BAP at the moment due to the rampant amount of Arctic Cheetahs and Shadowcats and stuff like that with ECM. But fucking missiles eat you alive. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus. Basically, I think G-Man put it the best in his analysis, saying that between the Firestarter and the Arctic Cheetah, it really comes down to who gets the jump on who first, because it's basically almost the same mech. For
The
5 tons in difference, though, I mean, again, Arctic Cheetah, in my opinion, best clan light mech. As far as Inner Sphere best clan mech, it's either between the Jenner and the Firestarter, and both those mechs, again, could probably go toe-to-toe with the Arctic Cheetah, and then it just comes down to who can land the shots better and who gets the jump on who first. I think that's pretty much what it comes down to.
My biggest complaint actually about in the comparison between the two is that the Arctic Cheetah runs hotter. It hands down, if you have a similar loadout between the Arctic Cheetah and a Firestarter, the Firestarter has a better heat threshold than the Arctic Cheetah.
Well, that's also due to quirks, right? So
yeah, part of it is due to quirks, and part of it is that extra 5 tons that the Firestarter gets to play with. It can mount a couple, a slightly better heat management than the Arctic Cheetah can. Part of it's also due to the heavier firepower of the clan weapons. You have that trade-off. They're a bit hotter to run, and Arctic Cheetah, I've seen a number of people running them, and they'll get they'll get 2 alphas off, and then they'll go for that third one, and it shuts them right down, and they're sitting there similar if they had fired a full alpha off from the Nova. They're stuck there, even if they're trying. If they hit override, they're blowing themselves up. They're trying to restart. It's not like the Firestarter in that sense that you have a faster, cooldown, even shut down. The Arctic Cheetah definitely has a slower heat dissipation.
That's one of the fatal flaws that the Arctic Cheetah has, that I think, is that you can't play that like it's a Firestarter. You play like a Firestarter, you're just gonna kill yourself, basically.
one of the things I actually thought the Arctic Cheetah would do better is jump jetting, but I have to think, out of the 2 mechs that came out, the Shadowcat's the big victor there. The jump jets on the Shadowcat are magnificent, beautiful things. And though people are complaining that they're hard locked in there, which I say good, deal with it, nerds. I think that, yeah, the Shadowcat by far probably one of the best mechs for jump jetting. It's basically, like I said, I think last podcast, and I've been saying every podcast since the Shadowcat was announced, it's basically a giant cicada with clan weaponry and jump jets.
Yeah,
that's its playstyle as well. I mean, it's everyone that runs it, except for me, because I'm a crazy fucking idiot. And even then I still do, with the 1 ER PPC, plays it as a ECM Shroud sniper mech, which is exactly how the Cicada was played, because it also, even though some people play the Cicada as a knife fighter, which I somewhat do with a Shadowcat like an idiot with 7 machine guns, I don't know. Again, I still stand by it. The Shadowcat's literally just the clan Cicada with really good jump jets.
Yeah, I've been hearing a couple people talk up the Shadowcat as as a Gauss sniper, which I cringe at, because none of the quirks on the Shadowcat really help.
Well, I mean, they don't have quirks, right? So,
well, they do have some. There's like
armor quirks, but
no, there are a couple weapon quirks. I think it's like ballistic range plus 5% for the
like
prime.
Nothing.
Yeah, so the quirks on it literally do piddly squat. So, people saying, "Oh yeah, it's I'm running my Gauss rifle on it and it's great," and it's like, that's probably because those are exceptions to the rule. You try taking that into a comp match, people are gonna laugh at you for that. They're gonna think you're out of your mind. It's not even
that. It's just there's no tonnage with it. If you literally strip the mech down to its defaults and don't play around with the armor at all, you're left with 5 tons after putting the Gauss rifle on. There's not much you can do after that. I mean, the best, quote-unquote, best build I've seen with the Shadowcat that's used a Gauss rifle, it's been a Gauss rifle, 2 tons of ammo, and 2 medium lasers. That's pretty fucking much nothing at all.
And that's the prime build on it.
Yeah, like, it's and even then it leaves you with, like, only 1 ton of armor to add on to it, and even then it's kind of just meh. I'd rather run, like, a PPC and
machine
or a
guns.
large pulse laser, and machine guns. Or I did do up a build. I haven't tested it yet, but like I built one that's I think 2 SRM 6s and I think 1 large laser and 2 mediums or something like that. Like something like that would probably even be better.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean,
So,
if you're looking at the Shadowcat for use as a medium sniper, your best bet are going to be the dual ER PPC build or the triple ER large laser build.
definitely
Relying
probably the
on
triple ER large laser. Again,
yeah,
play it like a cicada. The best cicada build is, or I'm not sure anymore. I have to check on it. But I know for the longest while it was 3 or was it 2 large lasers, ER large lasers.
It was 2 large lasers.
Yeah, for poking, because it was basically a backup to the back
Raven
one, the
3L.
Raven. Yeah,
But yeah, the ballistic mounting a ballistic on the Shadowcat, you know, it doesn't make sense to play it as a sniper. It really doesn't work that way. If you're going to mount ballistics on it, you have to mount them with a brawl mindset there, or you're using a UAC 5, which can alternate between some long range fire support and up close, in your face punch. But beyond that, there's no reason to run, a Gauss rifle. There's no reason to run a UAC 2 on it. LBs, that's if
Ultra
that's your
Ultra
flavor.
10
But
or LB10, I think would be good.
yeah,
Put an AC10 because then you get 7 tons left over. You could still mount something good in there, but
yeah, but there's no reason to be trying to do a long range fight with a ballistic on there. It's just there's so many better options for that mech than that.
you could do 2 AC5s.
That's what I
But
was
yeah,
thinking.
Shadowcat. I think it's a fun mech. It's definitely really fun to play with. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's probably been my out of the two, like I said, probably the one I go to the most. Arctic Cheetah again, as I said, maybe someone else. I haven't had much time with the Arctic Cheetah. I did play it. I played it quite a bit. I got 2 of them basiced out completely, which I mean, if you really think about it, isn't that much playtime. That's maybe 3 hours tops in it. So again, I can't really say too much about the Arctic Cheetah. I'm not a fan. I do understand that it's probably much going to be a necessity if you ever play on the clan side and you need clan light. But for if I wanted to go troll around in solo drops or pug queue, I'd probably still take the Firestarter or Jenner if I was going try hard, or if I wanted to have fun, I would just take the Mist Links because being inside a fucking a glass coffin that dies when anyone looks at it's fun as well.
A
Yeah,
clan locust.
Yeah, pretty
it
much.
is in a way clan locust. But
I mean,
no,
just
and
build it like an elemental and pretend you're a small little
Yeah.
dude.
the biggest complaint I've had with the introduction of these 2 mechs is I've had this complaint before when we've seen new mechs introduced, is the videos that are made with them. Is NGNG has gotten into the habit of showcasing them when they are fully mastered and with fully tricked out builds. Sean has been doing this now for the last I think since Clan Wave 2 was launched, and it gives an unreasonable expectation of what the mech can do. Yeah, it shows what it can do when it's in the hands of a master of a great player when it's mastered out, but you're getting people going into these mechs when they're not even basic, and suddenly they're
Expected to perform.
yeah, and they're then complaining left, right, and center in chat in the middle of the game, like, why did I just blow up? Why did this happen? Why is this not running the way it showed in the video? And part of that is, I have to, and I've said it before, it has to do with the way the vids are being produced by NGNG, showcasing these, the first glimpse at these mechs. Really and truthfully, if they're going to do an honest showcase, they need to show them in their stock configurations before they've been, any of the skills have even been touched. Show what it does when it's when you're going to pick it up for the first time. Then show what it runs afterwards. Like, this is where you start, this is where you progress to, and these are builds that you can run on it after, as you're getting to that, doing that progression. It's a more honest approach, and it's something that will help more players than what they're currently doing. Because as I said, I've seen a number of people that they bought the clan pack, they watched the NGNG video, and they ran out with that build, and they got their head shot off almost immediately because they didn't realize, hey, that Shadowcat, the reason it's running that fast is because it's been speed tweaked. And the reason it's running that cool is because it's got mastered status. So all those cooling, skills there, cool run, and those are now at twice the bonus than they are at just basic level. So if you don't even have that, yeah, it makes sense that you're going to overheat pretty quickly with it. So it's almost, I don't want to say that the vids that are being produced are disingenuous, but they create unreasonable expectations for a new player that is not fully aware of how these mechs work and what they progress as. If
Dead time, so much dead time. No, I don't know. It's hard to say. Hopefully, something comes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like what NGNG does with reaching out to the community, but there's
I definitely agree though that they should be showing off its stock. Well, I mean, as someone who's died multiple times in those videos, I've always run I've customized my loadouts, but I've never used never basic or anything like that. So I was running pretty much without upgrades at all, or modules. Modules is also a big one. Hey. Let me, hey Dirkon, let's take a word from our sponsors. Hey, Tierkron, do you have 6 million C-bills?
Yes. Why
do you know what you should do this week with 6 million C-bills?
I was saving them up to buy some of the originals that I have yet to purchase, but what should I do with them? That is a great
thing you should do. You should check out our wide selection of Jenners. All for the low price of 2 million C-bills apiece. What a bargain.
Okay, that's kind of creepy when you say it that way, Cattra. But,
hey, Tierkron, do you also have some more C-bills? If you do, you should check out our wide variety of hunchbacks. They are also on sale. Wow, great deal.
I own all but 2 hunchbacks, and I was already planning on picking them up.
You're going to pick up both of those, and you're going to like it, because they're on sale. Now, don't make sales often, so do it.
Yeah, the 4H and the 4J are the 2 that I have not picked up, so they're the ones I'm looking at.
So if people haven't picked up on my really bad telemarketing scam, the Origin sale is currently ongoing, and I think probably, again, the Jenners and the Hunchbacks are the real winners out of that. And I know we usually don't talk about sales and that sort of stuff, but I actually do think the Hunchback and Jenners, if you don't have them, seriously do consider picking them up, because getting them mastered, the Jenner's a lot of fun. I recently went back this week and hopped in my Jenner. Something I haven't done for a long, long time. At least, I don't think I've hopped in the Jenner since probably Merrick Civil War 1 or 2.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, that is a real long time.
And I haven't been in a Jenner since we were in Innersphere in CW.
Okay, so that was last week.
Last week?
But at the same time, last week I was tied up, so...
But, let's see. But yeah, no, the Jenner still holds up as a really good mech. I've been playing around in the Jenner 7F. Which again, the 6 medium lasers still the Jenner's mobility still shines. Like, as someone who played a lot of the Firestarter and still to this day plays a lot of the Firestarter, either it being the Ember or the A or the K, the Jenner is entirely different feeling. And if you're getting bored of light mechs and you've been playing the Firestarter or the Panther, or the Raven, or the Spider, or I don't think anyone plays anything else but those.
Or
I've
the
seen
Arctic
people play
Cheetah.
Locust.
But if you want to get in something different again, definitely get those Jenners. Hop in your Jenner again. It really is. I don't know what it is about the Jenner, but it's an entirely different feeling mech. And I love it. I loved my time in it. I'm probably going to continue playing in my Jenner again and screw the other light mechs. They all suck.
Yeah, the other two weight classes, the Orion and the Highlander. I've got 3 Orions: the Protector, the K, and the V. I think. I don't know.
Orions
that
again.
shows how much I play them.
Yeah, pretty much. They're nice to have if you don't have them, I guess. And I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure there's one of them that comes with an XL that if you actually sell it and you keep the engine, you get the engine technically for only like 400,000 C build or something like that. It's like an XL 300 or something like that. So if you want to do that to get an XL 300, I'd highly recommend it. But anything else, the Iron, I'd say the Orions, I would say skip on. Not worth investing into. And the Highlanders, again, with those jump jet changes, again, they're kind of meh. But I've started seeing Highlanders again being used by a couple of the guys in MS as well as some of the people I've encountered in the pug queue. Now, again, I don't know if that's just because they're on sale, but
That's
I
actually the
don't know.
case. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Highlanders out there recently in the last group match. They were there.
Yeah, the main thing I've been seeing with Highlanders is a lot of people are bringing the Highlander as a long-range missile boat, which always leaves me kind of scratching my head, because if you want a long-range missile boat for an assault mech, you'd be better off with the Stalker. But
Or an
the
awesome.
yeah, the Awesome, especially 8R. The couple Highlanders I've been seeing though that have been doing pretty decently, they're using a combination of the old jump sniper meta, which is dual AC5s and 2 ER PPCs. I've seen a version of that where it's 2 2 AC5s and 3 large lasers instead. And that seems to be working really well for a lot of people. So, unfortunately, yeah, the jump jets, while tweaked and work a little better, they're still nowhere near where they should be for the Highlander. Hopefully, with whatever they end up doing with battle value and everything, the Highlander will get some type of quirk that will help its jump jets without having to change jump jets overall for it. But yeah, it's still nowhere near where it should be for an assault mech to be, to be a first choice. It's good, but it's not that good. The Orion, as you said, yeah, the Orions are kind of almost a laughable thing now. You see them, you see someone piloting one, and they usually do not last very long. They're just bullet sponges.
But yeah, so I think, again, I don't want to spend too much time on the sale because it is a very timely thing, and I guess podcasts are also a very timely thing, since I don't think very many people go back and re-listen to podcasts. But again, this sale, also, it goes on longer than most sales. It goes on until the end of the month. So you have
goes to the end of July.
So I guess it's almost a week. I guess today is the 23rd, so you get one extra day. Actually, no, they usually just last the weekend, don't they? They don't even
Yeah,
go the
usually
whole
it's
week.
just a weekend.
Yeah.
It lasts about 4 days. So
this we're actually getting a full week of a sale, so it's not bad. So if you are listening to this and you do not own Jenners and you do not own Hunchbacks, buy them. I think in total, if you buy 3 of each variant and for the 2 mechs, I think you come to just... I haven't actually done the math, so I'm just doing bullshit math in my head here now. I think you come up to just a little bit over 13 million to get 6 mechs, and you're probably going to enjoy all 6 mechs. I will definitely guarantee if you are a light pilot and you don't own Jenners, you will love the Jenner. That is the Cattra Kell guarantee.
If
Or
you're
your
a
money
light
back.
if you're a light pilot and you don't own Jenners, I don't know what you've been doing with your life to this
Well, I
point.
mean, Firestarter. If you came in post Firestarter, like if you started playing MechWarrior post Firestarter, so within the past year or two, I wouldn't blame you for not having Jenners because the Firestarter was the light mech to have. But for anyone like us that have been playing all the time and you don't have Jenners, well then, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Right.
They probably preferred spiders.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely one of the things to look into. I hope more sales are like this coming up, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see.
But yes, that has been our advert for this podcast. So let's talk about the other big thing that came into the podcast, or not into the podcast, Jesus Christ, into the game.
Patch.
Which is the EU servers. And I know a lot of people have been having very good things to say about the EU servers, actually.
That said, there was a post earlier today, well, I should say late in the afternoon today, about some problems with the EU servers, and it's a hardware issue. So it's PGI's working to get that resolved, but they did say, there could be a couple hiccups if you're using the EU servers currently. So it's being worked on. Once they've got the hardware issue fixed, it should resolve itself back to where it was originally promised to be.
Yeah, it's a nice addition to the game. I mean, my ping hasn't changed from the US server, but I can tell you this. I went to the EU server, my ping jumped to 198, and I was like, this is an awesome addition.
I know a lot of people in the EU time zone, because if I play, it's usually when I get home from work, and for those who don't know, I work graveyard shift. So when I get home, it's usually when a lot of the European people, or people like, I know Juju, for example, Singapore, that time zone, are playing. So I know for them, it's been a big improvement. A lot of their pings went from being 300-ish, if they connect to an EU server, to about 120-ish, which is 120 to 150, I think it is. A lot of people that I saw, or at least knew, that were in like the Eurozone. So that's actually a big improvement for them, I think. So it's a very good thing to see. Once those Oceanic servers go up as well, though, I think you'll see a lot of good things across the board. And it's actually really good that you're able to tick off what servers you want to search for and that sort of thing. I think that's also really good. But yeah, overall, EU servers, I think it's a huge improvement to the game. It's good to see that they were implemented actually pretty well. I didn't read the post yet about what's everything wrong with them. So optimism.
You gotta see the glass that's half full. Not to
Exactly.
not to mention that our boy Juju might have, like you mentioned before, that there was going to be an Asian and Oceanic server coming soon. I don't know if that's one of the infamous rumors that are coming out.
No, it's coming. It should be, I think, what they said recently, it should be implemented like for August 4th.
Well, there you go. Now
it's
he's gonna have even higher ping. So yeah.
Lower.
He's gonna be a
lower ping.
Lower ping.
Lower ping. Yes.
Sorry.
We're gonna put an Oceanic server, and I hope you people in Australia enjoy 2000 ping. Now the real question is what those servers tick at, and if they all have the same tick rates and all that sort of thing. But that's all server stuff that's boring to some people that don't play Counter-Strike.
I know what you mean.
I guess the only other really things that happened this week that we can kind of somewhat report on or maybe talk about was that we had another Forest Colony preview, which showed off, I believe, the area of the map there where that kind of like, I don't know what to call it. It's like a mine entrance that's kind of closed off. There's like the big doors and the crane outside of it there, almost
got the gravel pile.
Yeah. The big shit pile. They showed off that area, or what looks to be that area. But, I mean, with the map undergoing a lot of changes, it looks really different. It looks really, really nice. It's nice to see Forest Colony actually have fucking color again. Holy shit. It's like we're back in beta.
Yeah, it's actually, as I said before last week, it looks like there's an actual forest on the map. So it's got feelings of the current map, but definitely a number of nice additions. And the best improvement so far that I've seen is, as you said, it lifts that filter off of it, and finally we have our old brightly colored map back. So I'm hoping that stays that way, because PGI seems to have picked up that we want more color on our maps.
Also, on top of that, I still stand by my comment by last week saying that I want like a powered down timber mech somewhere, so we can kind of see like a set of scale. Now that should set it pretty good. Other than Forest Colony preview, I think Russ sent out a tweet saying that when the spectator tools are finally released, that the spectator slots will be shown to both teams, which I guess is good. I mean, it'll show definitely who's commenting, I guess, but that's something people seem to have gotten excited about. I thought it was just going to be common sense, but all right. And I guess there was also something we should be expecting, and this is why I didn't want to bring this up too much, but I mean, might as well dive into it and have a small conversation about it. But Paul said that there should be a post coming somewhat soon about stats, ELO, and ranks. So I think one of the things that they mentioned, or at least in passing, is that they want to be able to display some sort of indicator what your ELO is via like ranks or something. Again, I don't know. I'm speculating. We're supposed to be getting a command chair post sometime soon, so probably, like I said, in 20 minutes it will show up. But what's your guys' thoughts? I guess I'll test the waters here. As someone who's played, and I'll give a little bit of background of where I'm coming from. As someone who's played a lot of Counter-Strike, whenever you end a match when you're playing ranked, quote unquote ranked, you're able to see what level or ranking bracket that the people you played with and against are, but that's only after the match. You can't see it before or anything like that, so you can kind of get an idea where you're ranking or how well you performed against other people. What are your guys' thoughts of some indicator showing like what sort of ELO bracket or what sort of rank you are, and would you want that being able to be displayed to other players at all in the game, or as something that's optional that you have to toggle or something like that? Just get your feedback on something like that.
I'd say it would be better if it was optional, because a lot of times you pug and a lot of times you're playing with groups. And me personally, I'll be the first to admit it. I pug most of the time, and I really don't. I mean, I already have the option. I already had the ability to turn off all chat and team chat. The only chat that I have on currently right now is Lance chat, because it's better, or it's more organized, and if a dickhead decides to talk shit, he can talk shit all he wants. You just can't see it. So my feeling about this is that, yeah, as long as it's toggleable and you could just give it the ability to turn it off or turn it back on whenever you feel like it, then yeah, I'm good with that. But if it's just something that's just like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be posted, it's gonna be on regardless, I wouldn't be down for that. It would be kind of disheartening, to say the least.
If they're going to implement it, it definitely has to be like Counter Strike, where it only shows at the end. It can't show at the beginning or in the, during the match, because you'll have too many people loading into a match, and they'll look at that rank if it's there and go, oh, well, this match is over before it's even begun. It's like the current system, where if you are running around and you're with a group or even just pugging, and you load into a match and you see, 5 or 6 lords on the other team, or 3 or 4 SJR guys, or you're running with a small group and you're suddenly up against a 12-man of aces or 2/8. It's disheartening, because it's like, what's my point of playing this match? I know how it's going to end. I'm going to get stomped on. When you don't see that, everyone, kind of has some semblance of, oh, this is a match, I'm going to play the best I can, and hopefully things will work out. And at the end, if it's like, wow, that game went really poorly, what happened? Oh, I was up against 5 guys that are all ranked in the top 10, top percentile. Of course these guys are really good, that explains it. But if you're seeing that beforehand, I worry that it's going to take morale down of the opposing team. You're going to have people basically give up at the start of the match and go, why bother? Or there's going to, and you'll have disparate results between members of a team. You'll have the guys that, like, they'll see it as the challenge and they'll try to rise to it, and then you'll have the other guys that have given up and they'll go around and dick around. So you'll end up having shouting matches on a team of why did you go do this? It's like, well, we weren't going to win anyway. It's like, you can still try. So if they're going to do it, it has to be optional, and even if they have it in there, it shouldn't be displayed at the beginning of a match. It should only be at the end of a match.
I agree that it should be at the end of the match. I don't know if they're going to be able to show it at all. I'd be all right with toggle, like have an option in the options to be able to show it or not show it if at the end of a match type of thing. But even then, I think people would be like, oh, you're not showing your rank. What are you, some sort of bad kid or something like that? Like, that's
what are you trying to say?
I'm saying that you're bad. But I think that's where that problem comes into effect. Now you could do it like StarCraft 2, where you have quote unquote leagues that kind of show your elo bracket, and that's like, I think they have like diamond and onyx and stuff like that. It's a small little symbol beside your name that only you see. Know your own little elo bracket type thing, and I think that'd be the preferred way to do it, at least in my opinion. But I'm also not opposed to, again, having an option to toggle to show it at the end of match, but it's really kind of up in the air. Again, we don't know even if they're going to be doing that, or if they're going to be even changing things up, because it's just something Paul kind of said in passing, but said he has a command share post coming about it at some point in time in the future. So,
as I mentioned before, as long as it's toggled, they can do whatever they want. Because at least if you give them the option, they can just turn it off in case it just bothers them or disheartens them. Because you never know.
Yeah, that's also true. Maybe I don't think there's a whole lot next week either. So maybe there's a couple of discussion points I kind of want to bring up, but perhaps we will save those until next week. As far as other things to talk about, I think those were the big things. Tierkron, do you know of anything else that kind of came out in the world of MechWarrior?
Things are pretty quiet, really, except for the 2 new mechs, EU servers. Those are the 3 big things.
There's also,
we'll have to wait and see.
Sorry, Tierkron. There's also the European Takeover Challenge that's not going to end until the 31st of July, which coincides with the sale of both the Jenner and the Hunchback.
Yeah, there is also the European. I completely forgot about that event. I think this is also one of the longer events at the same time. This is, again, going for almost a week straight. And I guess if you play both, there is a chance to earn some pretty cool stuff. I mean, you'll have to put in a couple it shouldn't be too hard for people to put in the matches there. But I mean, 24 points in skirmish, assault, and conquest, you earn a flag of your choice, I guess. And if you're on the North American server and you earn the 24 points, you get a North American flag. I'm assuming it's going to be under the redeemables, kind of like the if you ever pre-ordered any.
No, it's on the tournaments page.
Is it on the tournaments page?
Yeah.
I haven't clicked the tournaments page.
Yeah, if you go to the main news post, you click on that, and it'll direct you to where you can click for qualifying scores and the like. So it's much more. It's similar to the gift bags that they've done in the past, and when you earn a mech in the course of an event, if they've like when they had Inner Sphere, you could choose between the Stormcrow or the Thunderbolt or something like that, or the Warhawk and the Banshee. If you got the qualifying score, you could pick and choose one or the other. So they've got it set up similar to that.
Yeah, it's kind of like this, but only difference is that once you reach 24 points, which is the max, you get a single choice of a country flag. So, like if you're in North America, you get the option of either Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and America. While in European, you get pretty much a
Four
long
times the
list.
choice.
Yeah, 4
Because
times the choice.
Europe is huge. Man,
Yeah.
everyone should just pick Greek flags for all three.
No.
I was voting for Finland, but okay.
We might stimulate their economy. Yeah, there's quite a choice there. Okay, so that's a different way of doing things. I like that. That's cool. And the length of the challenge again is also something nice. It's a good. Hey, Tierkron, do you know what you could be doing this whole week?
Yes, I'm already aware of it, Cattra. Do not do this to me again.
You should play 12 matches on the North American server in both Skirmish, Assault, and Conquest and earn 3 million C-bills. And then go to the European regional server games and do the same thing for another 3 million, which adds up to 6 million. Enough to buy the Jenners, which are on sale. Yeah, no, I'm not doing this again.
No, keep going. You're doing great. You're doing great.
I am not reading this off a script, mind you.
Which is more of a reason for you to keep doing it. It's awesome. You're improvising.
My comedy's shit. I'm shit. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm losing control of the podcast. It's over. I think that's everything for this week. There's really not much else to actually talk about as far as information or anything like that. So hopefully next week there's some more interesting stuff to talk about. Oh, no, I shouldn't say more interesting, because I mean the Shadowcat and Arctic Cheetah are interesting, but and EU servers are interesting. That's really about it as far as big news type things. And I can try to draw out an hour out of two pieces of information, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just remembered something. New champions are soon, and those champion mechs are also going to be the trial mechs. So, yay, because I believe these are the ones that the community help build. So that means trial mechs might not actually suck for once.
We'll see. They're still trial mechs, and they're still in the hands of relatively inexperienced players. So it doesn't matter if you hand them a top tier meta mech. A new player is still a new player.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to be slightly upgraded from coffins on legs to coffins on legs with a shiny coat of paint. So that's better in my books.
You could discuss the capabilities of the new mechs.
Well, the Shadowcat and Arctic Cheetah? Or the new trial mechs?
No, the new Shadowcat and Arctic Cheetah.
Oh, we already did all that at the beginning of the show.
My apologies.
So, no problem. So I think we'll wrap it up there. So thank you, everybody, for listening to the Armored Combat Escalation Service podcast, episode 23. I think it's episode 23.
Yes,
we're going to say it's episode 23. If not, I will go back in time and make an episode before this.
No way.
And then put that episode out later, like a true professional.
You have a time machine?
No.
Just a DeLorean.
I wish I had a DeLorean.
DeLoreans are great.
Until next time, Mech Warriors.